Okay, after the excitement of finishing the loco body, it's now time to finish off the tender. What we're going to deal with in this section of the video is this hole. Obviously we're going to fill this with some coal. But first we need a base. So what I did was actually make a template from a bit of card like that. So the template is then I moved that over to a piece of plywood. So I've just got a little bit of perhaps another 4mm thick. I'll just put that in the middle. Wood glue, put it on there like that. Put a bit of weight on it. There you go. And we'll let that set. Okay, so this is stuck on nicely. So what I'm going to do is just put in a small, a thin coat of matte black on. I'm not putting any primer on because, especially on this side, because later when I put the coal on, I actually want the glue to actually bite into the wood. We'll crack on just putting a bit of matte black onto this one. Just the edges. Doesn't have to be too tidy or anything. Just to get rid of that light colour of the wood. This is obviously the underneath, so try and get a little coat on all of it, even though you're not going to see it, but it will look better in the end instead of just plain wood. So that's it. Let that dry out. And we're done for this particular bit. Then we can get on with the coal. So the base, if you like, of the coal part of the tender, that's been painted black. This is the upper side, and it's going to be going in there. So perhaps just explain what I'm planning to do with the base in. This is going to be covered with coal, with this coal. This is just crushed real coal, to roughly a scale size. Perhaps some of them might be quite big lumps, but they had big lumps back in the day as well. Plenty of firemen went round with a hammer when they were on duty breaking up coal. The coal's going to go on here, and there's going to be a slight bulge in it. And then what we've got is these wonderful fire irons from Locoworks, and these are then going to be laid on top of the coal as if they're resting on top of the coal, something like that. I'll put a link to a film on YouTube from the Festiniog Railway, and it's taken from the back, from in the, let's say, the tender part of one of their locomotives when it's running. And they've actually split, they've got a fire, you see a fire iron set in view, and they've actually split the fire irons up in the tender on the left and right side. So I want to sort of do that as well, and I thought that would be a bit of fun. But so that's the idea, and what we're going to try and do. But when I mean, this is going to be with the wood glue. We're going to be putting the coal onto the base, but to ensure that no glue goes all over the place, what I also have is some cling film. So we'll put a bit of cling film between the base and the tender so that nothing gets mucky, and then we can crack on. So there's a cling film on. I put a stick in the incaping in the recess of the base, so that when we put the coal in there, it can get right up against there, and I won't have any worries that I can't get something in there to lever the base out again. So here we go. whack it on, spread it all out a bit. Let's get in there with the coal now. Just bung it on, keep bunging it on. And obviously you'll understand that only the pieces of coal that are actually touching the glue will actually stick, the rest won't, they'll stay loose. And that's the whole idea. I want to get a good solid base, and then the rest, for building up the rest of it, we'll use a slightly different method for that. Okay, we'll leave that to set and then we'll get back later. Okay, so it's now 24 hours later. So let's see how much of these pieces of coal have actually stuck to the base. So we're going to take him out. No. Set the tender temporarily to one side. Tip it over and let's see what we've got. So we've got a decent covering on the first go. So what we're going to do now is repeat the process, the base in the tender with cling film around it, and then put the coal on, but this time we're going to put the glue over the coal. So hopefully it will get in all the nooks and crannies and bind all the bits of coal that are on the base with each other. Okay, so there's the loose bits on, and the next job is to use the wood glue to fix all those pieces in place. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to dilute the wood glue and then use a dropper to drop it in all places. So let's see if we can get some wood glue on here. Not quite sure how much I'm going to need, so I'll have to mix it up. And of course the wood glue, it dries transparent. So let's see how much we can get on it. Okay, let's start from the back. And so we'll keep doing this across the whole thing until everything's covered. Okay, so same as before, leave it for 24 hours to harden off, and then we'll take another look. Okay, it's another 24 hours later, so let's see how much of the coal has stayed glued to the base this time. Let's take him out. Moment of truth, let's have a look. One or two, okay. So as you can see, a bit of the glue was seeped to the side and underneath, but that's no problem. We'll let it dry out thoroughly longer, and then we'll paint over it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to epoxy at certain places the fire irons onto the coal there. I think it was like that. So there's that one, somewhere around here. I'm just going to put the hole underneath there. Hope that will cover it. We'll try it, we'll leave it to dry it and see if it's glued. So while we're waiting for the fire irons, the glue to set, perhaps we can put the brake stand in the tender. So we'll just put the tender on its side for now, like this. Oh, if it will stay on its side. No, it won't. At least it's we'll hold it like that, and then we'll try and add the the nut, something like that. Tighten it just a little bit more now. That's not going anywhere. There it is. Okay, so it looks like the fire irons are not sticking too well to the coal. So what I'm going to do is add with epoxy a few bits of coal to sort of clamp them down and try and make it look as natural as possible. See if that will work. Perhaps with another one here, like that. See if that will work in there. There you go, something like that. And we'll see if that helps to keep them in place. What I also got was this thing, fireman's footplate set. I thought this would be a bit of fun to put this, put these couple of parts on the tender. So let me take them out. Let me see if I can show you them. There's a firing shovel. That's good, isn't it? And then the oiling can, the oil can. Yeah, what I'm thinking of is putting that on the front of the tender here, something like this. I might just put the shovel against here, perhaps with a couple of bits of coal there, and then the oil can here somewhere, just for a bit of fun. I think the last bit of epoxy, it's still okay, so I'll try and put that on while it's still not set, something like that. And then for the oil can, and then we'll put a couple of lumps of coal. There's one, and then just a third one, just to make sure they understand that it's coal. There, and we'll leave that in there. That should be a bit of fun. Let that all set now. So here we are then, the tender complete. Looks quite good, doesn't it, really, I think. Fire irons on the coal, and then the little sort of scenario at the front there with the shovel, bits of coal, and the oil can. Sets it off just right, I think. That's him, really. I think the next thing to do is to put them both together and have a good look at the completed locomotive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it outside. I think this deserves proper sunlight and not here in my room. And then we'll take a good look at the complete loco outside. Come on, let's have a look. So it's not brilliantly sunny, but we're outside with the loco on the garden table. So now you can have a good look-see around it. Oh, it's spitting with rain. Anyway, there it is. I think she looks very nice outside in the sunlight. And now it's a case of firing her up for real, and we'll perhaps get that in the next video.